Game's kind of fried, to be honest. I
Okay.
mean, there's like what 500 people playing the game right now.
Okay. And let me ask you something. What do you think about the developers currently on the team? Like each one of them. It's Fruity, Navy,
Oh, Jesus!
Taco.
Don't even get me started.
What do you think about them?
I mean, they're great devs and all. They're just kind of lazy. To be completely honest. Hate to say that, but
Yeah.
you know, they're working on their ASGD update.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't get banned, because then Demon Hunter's really gonna die. Because you know, a lot of those other people got banned.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they're working on the ASGD update. So they said where's it at? And I quote, "Make sure to remind me to keep updating, because they're you know, they're gonna be updating soon or something." Is what they said. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Nakamura said spam call me and invite me to work. Like, what the fuck? Like, you should be working on the game. You know that.
Mm. I agree with you. And what do you think about the game's update schedule right now?
Oh, it's horrendous. I can't stand it.
Yeah, like how do you feel how like they take a long time for updates? I mean, that is known, but how do you feel like do you think the update log matches the time taken?
No, not at all. You have Fruity and you know, Slushbat putting in there. Oh yeah, we put codes, or we think we fixed it. Like, you're not updating the game if you think it's fixed. It should be fixed. Fixed a bunch of moves with on-hit effects. Okay, yeah. Added more event servers too. Still not published. So why are you adding them if they're not published?
Ooh, nah, that's a good. I completely agree with you there, but Makey, I'm gonna leave it there, bro. Thank you so much for agreeing to this little interview we did right here, bro. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no
you
problem, man. No problem. Thanks for reaching out.
for sure, man. I appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
Okay. Ah!
Now, before anything else, let me say I do not hate or wish to bring hate to Demon Hunter. This video is going to be me going over the reasons to why if the game continues with the path it's currently on, it's going to inevitably fail. And no, this isn't a video of me raging over demons being busted or anything of the sort, but instead a video made from someone who genuinely loves the game and wishes the best for it. I've held off on making this video for a long time, because every time I'm about to make it, the developers usually release a Deepoken weekly sized update that breathes some life into the game. However, this time, I'm not letting that hold me back. To start off, I actually consider Demon Hunter to be the absolute, currently uncontested, best Demon Slayer game on Roblox. And the reason to why I say that is because the feel. I've never played a Demon Hunter game on or off Roblox that captured the feeling of being a Slayer as good as Demon Hunter. And I mean, I'll be honest, when I was new to the game, I was so immersed into it that I was clenching my ass cheeks to the fullest meaning for a lot of my fights. And usually I'm calm in the games I play, sweaty or not, but Demon Hunter was different. The execution of the game was done perfectly. Every little detail, from the chime noise to them being sent in with the Biwa teleport, to then fighting the actual demon. That being said, those are just some of the reasons to why I love the game. Now it's time to talk about everything that's wrong with it, and why if it continues down this horrendous path, Demon Hunter will be an example of wasted potential. Before we continue onto my other topics, I decided to talk about this first. Lore resets. If you didn't know, your progress will be wiped. This is something Demon Hunter does after around 3 months of the game being open, sometimes less. What ends up happening is they close the game for several months. Last time it was 3 months, and the reason for this is to work on a big update. for when it's time to open the game again. Now let me just show you what we're dealing with when it comes to the speed of the Demon Hunter developers. This update log is what they managed to do after closing the game for 3 months. Seems like a lot of work, right? Now, I did you the favor of removing everything that wasn't content from the list. Let's see what it is now. Yeah, just to be clear, that is the big content update that they had to show after 3 months of work. So who exactly are the developers of Demon Hunter? Now, let's start off with some of the developers. First, we have Takomura, a very high quality, but very slow, and at times lazy developer. He's also worked for Mighty Omega, which is known for its absolutely atrocious update speed. Then we have Navy X Flame. Nobody really knows what he does, but nonetheless he's a developer, YouTuber, and also actively works on another game called ASTD. Then we have Slushbat, basically the solo dev of Demon Hunter. He does most of the updates, and he's the only one that people don't have a complaint about. And finally, we have Fruity-sama, a multi-millionaire, a legend in the Roblox space, and he also actively works on ASTD. Seems like a pretty damn good dev lineup, right? Wrong. The result of this band of hooligans on one dev team is extremely slow updates, only one developer who seems to care, Slushbat, extremely out of tune balancing, while the others are prioritizing ASTD or are just plain lazy. Now hear me out. There's nothing wrong with having 2 projects and focusing on one more than the other. What's important here is context. If you didn't know, Fruity-sama actually bought the game from the original owner. Something that doesn't make sense to me is why would you go out of your way to buy a game just to neglect it? And even more than that, why on earth can't he just hire more developers? Fruity-sama is a genuine millionaire. He once offered 2 million USD for another game known as Strongest Battlegrounds. So one thing's for sure, money isn't the problem. But let's say he gambled it all in a casino and he's dead broke. This game is at a point where I can guarantee a lot of developers would gladly work on the game just for a small percentage. But lack of updates is just one problem. Let's continue on to the others. Another big problem with Demon Hunter is the developers seem to have absolutely zero integrity for the game. If you played Demon Hunter, you'd notice just how many people have specs. Specs are basically a super unfair advantage that developers hand out to specific people. Spec breathing, spec passive, spec BDAs, it's getting ridiculous. It's one thing for a main developer of the game to get a spec, but it's another for every developer's friend to get a spec and run rampant with it in 1v1s, abusing it on other players to rank up and taking their elo. Just to give you an idea of how many people have specs, every single type soul dev basically has a spec. Every single Ken Omega dev also has a spec. It's actually insane just how many unfair specs people have in this game. And also, no diss to A1, but can someone take it or like replace its blood spec? I don't think any moderator should be on a breathing with all upsides. I mean, no diss to him, but he just shouldn't be on it. And now listen, why do the developers think that you need to give your friend a spec and boost them for them to enjoy the game? If you believe all your friends wouldn't enjoy grinding your game, then instead of boosting them, make your game's progression actually enjoyable. Alright, final stretch of the video. My last 2 problems in the game, balancing and the many bugs that have been here since the release of the game. If I sat here and went through every single bug that's been here since the start of this lore, it would turn into an hour-long video. So instead of doing that, if you want to see them all yourself, just check hashtag bug reports inside of the Discord, because not a singular one of those bugs has actually been addressed, and it's been months. These bugs ruin your FPS, ruin your progression, and overall just make the game more unenjoyable each time you encounter them. Now for balancing, it doesn't take an expert. It doesn't even take one of the balancers they have on the balancer team. All it takes is anyone with a brain and access to the game to notice just how blatantly unbalanced this game is. Now usually there would be no problems with an unbalanced game because everything can get balanced, right? Well, for Demon Hunter, they seem to have the problem of being too scared to do drastic balance changes, which at this point is very needed. The truth of the matter is both sides are extremely broken, and the game's balancing ideology is currently, well, if both sides are broken, then both sides are balanced. All I can hope is the developers stop being scared to do the drastic balance changes the game really needs to truly stay balanced. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just saddens me that a game this good, way better, and way more potential than an anime tower defense game is being neglected to this extent. No updates, horrible balancing, filled with bugs, and giving their entire friends list extremely unfair specs for them to use in fights, ruining the experience for other players. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if a Demon Hunter dev does see this, please know I'm not hating, I'm giving feedback. The game's great, it's just sad to see it neglected and die time and time again.